Hello, hello. I'm Guillaume here. This is another. All right, cue the music. Another episode of Stop Losing, Start Trading. The trading show we do 3 times a week, where me and Rosie now, who's become an expert options trader, talk about the markets, talk about trades, look at new opportunities, and try to make money on Uniswap. Again, this is kind of the goal of everything we do is to educate people about options, educate people about DeFi, LPing. Nothing we say is financial advice, of course, but this is just a way for people to get exposure, see how we think, how we can trade. We discuss trades. The intern does the trades. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. But overall, we've been quite successful thanks to Rosalie's insights and kind of gut feeling about the market. So, all right, Rosalie, eventful weekend. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, good. I'm good. I'm in New York. It's 100 degrees, which is crazy in New York. There's permissionless happening, so I'm gonna be running around
Yeah,
town.
but you're from Texas. Like, is 100 degrees easier to bear when you're in Texas versus New York, or it never got that hot even?
I mean, I was always living in the Bay Area, so I was really used to like 75-degree weather. And then when I lived in Texas, it was brutal. I did not go outside until like late at night and wake up dehydrated. But yeah, I think it is a little bit worse here because it's of the humidity. But
Yes.
yeah, no, the weather in New York is not pleasant. Even if it's like 80 degrees in the summer, you're already drenched in sweat. And so I don't know what it's going to be like today. I'm scared.
That's right. Staying outside. I think, as you said, it's permissionless. So you want to go to different events, take the subway, maybe, God forbid, trying to survive. And it's like 130 in the subway sometimes, it seems. But
Yeah, it's not the vibe, but that's okay. I think there will be lots of events and hopefully air conditions inside.
amazing. Yeah, there was some price action over the weekend. I'd say that it's always seems worse than it is. The again, World War III or whatever you want to kind of
Yeah.
look at the worst side of it, but it is okay. Let me zoom in. It has been down maybe on the week. Definitely something that happened over the weekend where price dropped from 2400, I think on Friday, down to 2150. Definitely very very low. I don't know if you had a moment of panic, or you were sorry, or you were able to kind of survive that, or how did you feel about that move?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just write it out until it goes back up. But yeah, I was very sad to hear the news, and obviously I knew Bitcoin and ETH were going to drop a little bit, but it seems to not have been that detrimental. So
Yeah, I mean, it again, a lot of it might be priced in, or at least not as unexpected maybe. I think ETH got hit pretty hard. I think Bitcoin, of course, survived better, where there was some price move, but it recovered a bit more actively. Since so much of the liquidity on Bitcoin is in ETFs, or now tried to kind of locked into like MicroStrategy, I feel like they have a lot less momentum in overnight events, or even kind of weekend events don't impact as much, because a lot of the Bitcoin holders are waiting for like 9 a.m. Monday to be able to trade. Um, Helps dampen volatility for sure. But yeah, you probably don't have an ETF. My wife wanted to buy some Ethereum, and it was going to be easier for her to buy the ETF. But then she had to transfer the funds and wait for a little bit, and then she put a limit order, didn't get filled, and I felt like having to go and send the same amount to Coinbase, go on chain. It's almost easier and simpler and more straightforward at this point.
yeah, definitely on Coinbase makes it really easy.
And even Coinbase, but then you go out and do it on Uniswap. Maybe you have a way to kind of do it permissionlessly, middle of the night if you need to. This is the Bitcoin volatility index. I'll do it over the past month so that we can compare to ETH. But this is the spike that saw the news, of course, of the bombing. That a lot of what we see in equities is that large price moves to the downside are associated with the spiking volatility. Went from 42 to 45. It's not huge, but this was over the weekend, and I can imagine that maybe people aren't as trading. But It's not necessarily reversing the down move that we saw over the past year, starting at 70%. Now it's 40%. It's a tiny blip compared to the price, but it does go with the conventional observation that large price moves to the downside create a spike in volatility. We can have the Ethereum didn't move that much at all, actually, or at least it's still high, but barely anything actually. Interesting. So
Hmm.
what you see with Ethereum is that there's a spike, but it's like from what from 76 to 80. It's still sizable, but it's well within what we saw. This is maybe different than what we see in commodities, and maybe something that is less like in equity, which is there's less risk to the downside. It's not always a bad news when the price goes down. You may cover your shorts, but it's not as if it's a let's get out of the market type of way like you see with equities. Again, oil going down doesn't move the markets, but if it goes up, it's the opposite. So maybe it's a little bit of that. Of course, Nathan from the research team has had a lot of published research about that. Um, but yeah, Ethereum Ivy definitely not being too scary. I'd say still stable. What are your thoughts about the market sentiments?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's always a good time to buy when prices go down, and if volatility doesn't take too much of a hit as well. I think it shows more resilience. And yeah, I know intern's portfolio probably doesn't look as good right now since we were kind of bullish, but I think that's
It's
okay.
actually a good segue. Very interestingly, we set up a bearish trade on Friday. Rosalie again sensed something coming. This is still in range, and again, this is why I said sometimes it looks worse than it is because you might look like the sky is falling or maybe the floor is falling, but it's never as bad as it seems. At least when you deal with monthly options. So we're gonna jump right to it. But this is the interns portfolio down $30 overall, which is quite a feat because we are up for most of these markets. So $50 in the Bitcoin, $24 ticket Bitcoin, $100 on the ETH. That's fine, but the this is the only USDC pair. Well, so the whole portfolio is very much exposed to crypto in general. And despite the whole market going down 10-15%, we just lost a little bit of our funds. And the trade that we put on Friday, this was a call that meant to restore or neutralize some of our positive deltas. We can have a look here. So this one,
I'm glad intern listened to me. Such a crucial time.
yeah. So and again, the width of this, so we can see it's a directional trade that paid off. But yes, can you walk us through what you see here?
Yeah, so we were selling a call option here with a pretty wide range. Just I remember it was 1.1 for the delta because we had negative um, 1.1 delta or 11, negative 11 delta. And so we wanted to kind of offset our portfolio in case something does happen. We're not only exposed to the upside.
Yeah, and this was a bit less. I think the buying power was a bit too much for fully neutralizing, but it cut it maybe in half. But yeah, the price started at 2,400. Now it's 2,250. It was maybe 21. The max profit soon got hit, but that 2 day trade, which was bearish, capitalized on the move. So $60 of worth of profits. 16 only come from the stream, yeah, but it is kind of directionally correct. The one thing is that we have a net spread, which is 1.37. So 30% more fees than Uniswap. And also, if you look at the actual fee collection, this is something that we show. It's the hour by hour, or depending on like maybe day by day. But this is how much fees have been collected. And this was early in the weekend, very very flat, huge spike, and we earn like I don't know from 45 cents to $3, so like 8 times more fees than we did over the past day in a few hours. And since then it seems to have kicked up. So what we're witnessing here is volatility spiking. when we saw the volatility spikes in the Volmex index, here we see more fees being accumulated every day. So whereas before it was quite small, now it seems to maintain its kind of elevated rate. So this is also anytime a good time to be in the market more generally. We have other positions, straddle, for instance, or sell put. These will all benefit from that volatility expansion. If you're wrong directionally, that extra revenue you're putting again yourself out there, getting a lot of risk, is getting rewarded. So you have more again premium, more funds to offset any losses. And yeah, so this is exactly like, it may seem scary, lots of movement, intense move, but going from 2400 to 2200 is typically associated with a huge spikes in trading and volatility. Um, yeah, so let's go. Let's look at the other position, which is a straddle that was also stayed in range. And this one also I want to see because this one has been open for quite a long time, 13 days. In that case as well, we're losing a little bit because of the price move. Again, we started here, it's still in range. But the good thing as well is that we also see this huge spike. Oh yeah, the bidding is a bit different. I guess this is like a full day, so we did see a spike. It's just too compressed. But this is also another one where, whereas it seems like we're in the red, might not look good. Uh, the increased volatility is contributing to a little bit more returns, and yeah. So this is also where we can look at the whole portfolio. The IV is quite high, 80% on Uniswap. It was 75%, I think, 76% on Volmex. So it's still aligned, slight premium here on chain. If we were to look at the whole portfolio, we are somewhat, again, we were here before. So we had only zero point 0.5 ETH worth of delta. Now it moved. We have a bit more. So we may even not double down, but increase on positional sales. But this is the whole portfolio. If the price were to recover, we would be in the profit. Because we sold that call, we have more risk on the upside, but it's still manageable. Again, finally, stop talking. I'll stop talking. But yeah, this is the liquidation prices. So again, part of the journey of a trader is to understand the risks and understand all the pain points. Uh, in this case, can you what's is $600 or 5,000 liquidation prices worrisome to you, or it's still
No, I
manageable?
think that's very manageable.
Exactly. So I don't think so. Some lending accounts, some lending protocols do show the liquidation prices. Here, we make it core. I guess we show it again in that tab. We want to make sure people understand the risks. And a few people got liquidated over the weekend because they were too close on the downside. Going from 2400 to 22 or 2100 was a bit too much. As long as we understand the risk, this is leverage. This is maybe adding more risk, and it seems we are effectively 60% utilization is about, I don't know, 2x ish leverage, which may seem like a lot, but if you look at the liquidation price, if it's 600, 5,000, something that you're comfortable with, it's fine. So we're also dead in the middle. We're quite far from these boundaries. So
Yeah, this is a great feature
yes,
to have. I've never seen it be very close yet, so I guess we're good on analyzing our risks.
exactly. So is it better show? So we pushed an update. Now we can spy on everyone. Yes, in the leaderboard, we have the trading competition. So people are trading the Bitcoin pair. Someone probably like was bearish and made money. We have the pips tab. We have a margin tab. So I don't know if you know about this margin tab.
Not yet.
Yeah. So this is it's hidden if you're in advanced mode only. But this will show you everyone's margin
Hmm.
utilization. So this is all, and this is Unichain. Let's go back to it. All the accounts on mainnet, we can see their balances, their margin, their markets. Uh, intern intern here has many markets and many positions in many markets, but now we can sort and see who is close to being liquidated. And if you remember the liquidation, the margin utilization between being above 100% means you're liquidatable. So, few people are close. We can spy on them, see what their positions are. I'm not super worried about this account because it's $500. Maybe it's a one-time play. But this one, again, seems like a lot. I would also be careful here about the liquidation risks. 93%. I'm sure if we were to look at their liquidation price, it might be very close. So this is another way to, if you want to be a liquidator yourself or want to monitor the positions. Most people are 50-ish and below, which is great. Some people are zero. I guess they don't trade. So we hide those that have no positions open. But overall, yes, quite a good distribution. Be careful out there. Liquidations mean you lose your collateral. You never lose. You. If it's if the utilization is less than 130%, there's no loss to the protocol. If it's more than 130%, there's loss. So if you see yourself being at 105, 110, 115, you will still have some money left around. But if it's above 130%, I believe you may lose all of it. So yes, be careful.
I'm glad we have this feature. Everybody can make sure they can not get
Yes.
activated.
There was one account. Okay, this is fine. There was a few accounts on base which were from the ETH spare, so I think people stopped trading. The competition left their accounts, and then got pretty close. There's a few here that are close, but yeah, this is another feature that we kind of have the ability to show a lot of information, and if it's available and you can show it, we might as well make it easy to get so that people don't have an edge to some extent. So yeah,
So
the whole
worth it to check
idea.
out the advanced mode from time to time.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. This is a bit stealth. So when events went to that page that you see it, otherwise, yeah. So this is the one trade we made, one that was successful. Bearish at the right time allowed us to offset the losses. We also created a ETH Sol pair trade. Do you want to have a look at this one?
Yeah.
So ETH Sol, it's a wrapped Sol. It lives on Ethereum. I think it's wormhole. This one was kind of a smallish position because we just moved the collateral from Eigen to here. This was a straddle, but we'll see it was a bit bullish when it was set up. So we've seen these payoffs. Yeah. 2 days in, what do you see about this payoff?
Yeah, I think it looks good. We're still in range. The price definitely did go down a lot. Not a lot, but yeah, moving towards the red zone a little bit.
Yeah, so the break even, we're in the profit, but the break even is a bit lower than where we are, kind of where almost where we started. So this was directionally right. It did go up a bit. Yeah, okay, this one is broken, but and then we see the premium over time as well. Same spike. The whole market moved at the same time, so we got a good kick of premium infusion here. This is a straddle. You got to remember now we have ETH and Solana deposits. It's two pairs trade. So the way this works, that ETH is the quote asset. So we either want to convert ETH to Sol or accumulate more ETH. That will change kind of the calculus. But here, if we were to look at the deposits, it's ETH is going to be kind of the numeric choice. So the way that we saw it being impacted on the ETH USDC pair was quite important because we had a lot of ETH, but here ETH is the pair. So it's just another risk to take into account. But because the ratio now they all move together, it's actually not too bad to worry to manage. So yeah. Would you maintain that slightly bullish assumption on the ratio, or it's 2 days in? But yeah, how do you feel about
Yeah,
it?
I think so. With recent price moves as well, there's always time to buy more. I think, and a lot of people in crypto kind of see these actions as more like a on sale sign. And there's still, I assumed this was gonna happen because of the events and the hype around Solana this week. So I'm still, those events are still happening. So
Yeah.
I'm
So is there a
still
lot of is are there lots of Solana events at permissionless, or it's mostly ETH focus? I don't know.
I think there's something happening called the Summer Solstice, which is an entire week of Solana focused events that might be related to NFT
Mhm.
NYC or permissionless, or maybe just kind of their own thing that they're doing.
It's
But
like
a lot of
the
people are into that.
in town anyway, so they might as well pile on many events. Yeah. So I
Exactly. Yeah.
listened, I listened to Tom Sosnoff. We invited him at the Panopticon event at Denver, but he has a podcast, and I sometimes listen to him. But he said something quite interesting: is that kind of as unfortunate as it is, price moves due to war, other events that are kind of known, like pandemic, no one knew. The market crash during 2008, so big, no one knew. But war, all of this is kind of a known quantity, and it always bounces back. And if you're a fund manager and you panic and sell everything, you're going to lose your job, because no everybody knows by now that yes, the markets react, but it's resilient. It's never going to be as big as that. So that's also kind of self reinforcing. Those that were scared and always sold on the last minute, last events, would underperform, lose their job as funds manager. It's only those that were maintaining kind of the edge, or even doubling down at the right time, that were kind of successful in driving the price. So those that are risk agnostic are in the market. That's why the market seems risk agnostic in a way. So that might be also how I see the crypto markets. Yes, lots of movements. Technology is still strong. If there's a tremendously unexpected event, yes, maybe it's quite scary, but most of what we see is macro based. A hack, for instance, is definitely bad, but even then, it seems that it doesn't even move the price, because we've seen many teams recover from it. So, long story short, the place to be is trading that volatility, which is what we see here, making money on volatile price moves, making it so that you are protected, so that you don't have directional bias, or if it is, it's manageable. And that's kind of one of the way to, again, make money on Uniswap despite the economy.
Yeah, I think the market is very resilient. So
I think that's it. So a lot of what the rest of the portfolio is, again, I don't think there's anything that is worrisome for intern. Any maybe less market or comment you want to have,
I would
or
like to look at the BTC ETH ratio trade just to
oh
understand a bit more what happened there over the weekend. Okay.
yes, so good PNL. We when you scan, like I did it quickly earlier, but yeah, the key point is that you scan the PNL. All right, this is green. Open PNL, which is how much money you made. This is also great. We convert, it's BTC and ETH. Now we convert to USD. That's fine. The one thing is to look at this delta
Mhm.
here. This is delta neutral. This is a short straddle. The delta is 0.08, so very close to zero as well. So even without even looking at the P&L chart, this tells me that we're still in the middle. We're still in that delta neutral. If it goes to 15, 20, 25, then you have to worry maybe a bit more, but it's 8. So without even looking at the chart, I know that this is a good position that is still neutral, because the delta is so low. And if we're to look, I'm sure we'll see the flatness. But this is also an easy way to scan whether you have to worry too much. Started quite bearish. Now we're at the neutral place, so it even can be max profit there.
Okay, great little hack to look at the delta.
Yeah, and if you start bullish, you still want to see bullish deltas. If you start bearish, you want to see negative deltas. If you're, at least that one was neutral to bearish, it seems, because we did move the way we wanted, and the max profit was currently now. So this is maybe a great trade, and yes, we should hold and redeploy,
Yeah, it looks like
because we're at the max.
for fees too,
Yeah,
which is
and if the price recovers, we don't know where to go. So since we're at the top, it's actually great. Let's close this. And if I were to ask you on the ratio, are you bullish, bearish, neutral? The BTC ETH ratio. I think I know what's going on.
yeah, I think I'm probably more bullish now since we kind of like you always say the world can't end twice.
I do say that. So the ratio, though, do you think ETH is gonna overperform, underperform, stay the same? Yeah.
Um, Maybe ETH is going to overperform. No, probably
I mean,
underperform to stay the same.
yeah, okay. Because a lot of what we see is that if you look at the charts, like back since 2025 going down, but we also see kind of some signatures of like past behaviors where seemed like we were quite narrowed down here. Now we're lower. So that could be a new stable point, equilibrium. The huge move that we saw over the weekend did not even move this out. Oh yeah, it did move it out a little bit, but it's been stable since. So um,
Yeah,
might
it could just kind of move up from here now, I feel
so you're a
like.
bit bullish back. So we may even expect to go back to that initial point, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So in turn, if you listen to this, new price target, say 0.24, which would be a bit higher about here. We can imagine having a straddle be set up. Um, yeah, why not do it? So this is the current position. Oh wait, this one was nice though. We're getting paid a lot.
Yeah, we get
That's
a
fine.
nice spread.
Are you very convinced in your bullish assumption, or you could be neutral for a while?
It could be neutral for a while, but
Actually, let's add a new position. Actually, this is fine. I think we have some capital left, so let's keep this on. I don't want to kind of. I feel like we're milking this, and if it goes up a little bit, we can still extract more volatility. So let's set up a new trade, totally new one. If you were to look at the you're bullish, would you be selling a put or try to capitalize on capital efficiency and do a straddle or triangle?
yeah, maybe we could do a put for a shorter period of time.
Okay. Yes. And we have the monthly, weekly. Is there buying activity? No one is trading those puts, but um, that would be maybe a again. We could change where we want to go. In this case, we have the delta of that position. Um, are you okay or satisfied with 30 delta, or maybe which delta would you be more comfortable with?
Yeah, 30 delta sounds good. 70% chance of being right.
Yep. And as you see, there's a lot more kind of green on this side. So if it does go up any amount, you make money. It's only if it goes to 0.019, which is kind of all-time lows multi-year, that you lose the worst. So I'm also kind of you could be a bit more aggressive, but I wouldn't go past too much. So 30 delta is also where I'm also comfortable. We'll have to do the sizing, but for intern, I would say 10 to maybe 20% of the position. The pool is somewhat liquid, but you may still get higher in the 20%. But yeah, um,
Great. Yeah, this looks like an interesting trade to do for the week.
perfect bullish trade on ETH BTC. Let me paste this. Send a telegram, an email, a Slack message, and call intern to let him know. And then hopefully this is gonna happen.
Voicemail.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. So again, sky seems to be falling, but if you position yourself right, you can not lose as much or even make some money because you've been kind of on the short side of volatility. You earn a lot if there's a spike. If you were buying options, a lot of folks, you could look at a trade tape. A lot of folks made money because they bought puts. Right time, right timing, good way to make money as well. Even though they paid, the move was so sudden that they made 50 in a few days. If you're here for more consistent returns, selling is the other way to do it. But yes, overall, yeah, happy to see again. Rosie had a good hunch on Friday, made it herself realize we had a good, nice profit here to offset the losses. So this is great.
Yeah, great. Our competition is still running for the rest of the week as well. So hopefully there's still time for people to make more Bitcoin trades on base. And yeah.
Yeah, it was going up for a while, down for a while. This is kind of depending on how active you can be. You can kind of ride both sides. It's hard to be right, but overall, I'm sure some people were at the right place at the same time. This is good. But yeah, let's end this. This is Stop Losing, Start Trading. Another edition, another live stream. Thanks for joining us, and then we'll see each other on